Yeah, Caesar Gator there with that song, Freedom Fighter. My co-presenter, Fabian Kuya, a very busy Fabian Kuya, he has now joined us this morning on the Super Morning Show. Fabian, good morning.
Good morning, Hassan, and good morning to our many listeners.
Fabian, the last time you sat in the seat, everybody, maybe the only person who didn't enjoy you or didn't like the way you presented, maybe out of 5 millions, maybe just 3% didn't like the way, but 9,092 people love the way.
That's a huge number.
I mean, you were, you were good. You were a blast. I mean, everybody is talking about Fabian Kuya on the Super Morning Show. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna just be in the background for the most part. Then you, Emmanuel Colley, and then Willimita will just be driving. I'll just be there. You know, because apparently you guys have taken over now. So but how was your morning? How was the night?
Not bad, thank God for that. And we are in a rainy season,
Yeah.
and besides that, the weather has been bad for some days, coupled with our internet services, which is terrible when it's rainy.
Yeah.
We're glad that we are up this morning and kicking by the grace of God.
Yeah. So we have a lot to discuss. I think we are through with the correspondence. We've tried to contact Prince Copeland and Daniel Gante a couple of times, and we haven't heard from them. So let's hope that they go call. But we are done with that until Monday. But we are now on our media roundtable. Sorry, we don't have anyone here, but we can discuss some of the issues. And one of the issues was this prophecy by this reverend who is a prophet, who claims to be a prophet and has been making prophecy, telling people what they do and that sort of thing. And that has been one of the trending issues in Liberia now. And the popular thing you hear, yes, daddy, everybody will know exactly what's going on in Liberia.
I think the issue of some of the churches, or maybe I would say men of God, sometimes the utterances, they should be careful as they put it out, despite they don't talk at random. Some make references to the Bible and then go on to quotes, but to the extent of that pastor, that man of God, to have said those things, excuse me, allegedly, and has been summoned is another story. It's a different trend it has taken.
Well, let us not preempt. Let's try to listen to the report.
Okay.
Let's hear what the pastor said. Tivia, Frederick Tivia has been on top of this, and here is his report.
I said your man back.
It's true, Daddy.
Your man went to America 2017,
So true.
but 2018 is supposed to go.
So true.
Your man black.
The whole drama began when a video of Prophet Tue inaccurately prophesying about a woman during a church service went viral on social media, drawing mixed reactions from the public.
I said your man back.
It's true, Daddy.
Your man went to America 2017,
So true.
but 2018 is supposed to go.
So true.
Your man black. Now, when you tell your man she want to with you,
She passed us here.
she down.
She died.
Days after the first prophecy went wide of the mark, another video popped up on social media in which the prophet was seen giving what is believed to be another inaccurate prophecy about an old lady.
You were married before.
No.
You're small. You're small at the age of 29. You give you man to marry, but you say no.
Oh, no.
Who was your uncle? Me, Johnson.
Johnson?
Yes,
No. I don't have any Johnson.
Johnson.
Johnson? No. No Johnson.
Since then, the head of the Flaming Fire International Ministries, Benedict Jefferson Tue, has been brought under scrutiny by several Liberians, bloggers, and social media influencers. However, during an early morning radio and television broadcast on Flaming Fire FM early July this year, Prophet Benedict Jefferson Tue, popularly known as the Fire Prophet, was heard directing persons by Liberians who continue to question the legitimacy of his prophecies. But let's hear from the house's mouth.
Messages I send to them now. I send it on their eyes. I send it in their leg. I send it in their body. I send it in their cheek. I send it in their head. They go out, they go hear from.
Yes,
I take that, go and send it. I took all the sickness and send it to them. None of love. That family that been mocking me, I program accident. Somebody asked me, if they go for men, I go to care, I can get spiritual care like this.
Well, the action by the head pastor of the Flaming Fire International Ministries has caught the attention of the government through the Information Ministry. Speaking at NICAT press briefing Tuesday, Information Minister Jeremy Pia said Prophet Ture has been summoned to respond to numerous complaints about curses directed at citizens both in and out of the country.
We want to say that the pastor who had that broadcast runs a radio station based on permit from the Ministry of Information. Permit was granted to him based on his request of the kind of programming he intends to do. And we believe having a live show threatening that people will die, people will have go because they criticize you, was contrary to the purpose for which we gave him permit. So we took it upon ourselves to invite the bishop here at the Ministry of Information. And if they don't honor the invitation that was extended by the Ministry of Information, we will revoke the blessings of the radio station to operate. This place will not be allowed to be lawless. There is a government in charge, and the government will do what is required of a government. We just noticed that even the bishop's radio station has not been in compliance with the registration requirement since 2020. But this is supposed to be a church that preaches the doctrine of giving to Caesar what is Caesar and to Christ what is Christ.
While some regard Prophet Ture as a genuine man of God, others believe this incident is an opportunity for God to expose him. I took a tour Wednesday morning to get the views of some Liberians on the matter.
I may have been lying to a lot of people, and I have a lot of people go to hell. If you understand the Bible for yourself, nobody will come tell you, say, your man died, your car died. So I tell God, thank you that if God was able to expose him, I support the government action.
Even when choir prophet, a false prophet, let God be the one to judge him. I'm man with judge him. Man of God, I'm a prophet.
So when they come around to some people that are right, but anytime you come and do, you just let it be. You just leave you with caution because everybody have been called back wrong. Some people do it because of money business.
It is good to wait for God time because most pastors these days only prophesy on things because of money.
Liberians are now eager to see whether Prophet Ture will honor the invitation or allow his radio station to be shut down by the government. This is Frederick Tiria reporting.
Yes, Daddy. So that's the point. Anytime you say so, yes, Daddy, everybody laughs. But listen, I think I'm on his page, Flaming Fire International Ministry, and it says Papa's visit at the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism. So let's read what he wrote on his page. On today, July 17, 2024, a delegation of Flaming Fire International Ministry, headed by the Apostle Benedict Jefferson Tuet, the Fire Prophet, met with the Minister of Information, Culture, and Tourism, Honorable Jeremy M. Pia, and his team at his office. The meeting was held under a peaceful atmosphere and was cordial. The minister extolled the church for cordiality, which exists between the church and the state, and he praised that such relationship continues to blossom. Flaming Fire International Ministry wishes to extend thanks and appreciation to the minister and his team for the level of professionalism exhibited during the meeting. The Flaming Fire International Ministry remains committed to preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ in its entirety and to pray for the nation. God bless us all. So that's what the what was on their website, and that's what was on their website. Maybe we'll find out from the ministry whether that meeting was held and whether it was held, what was the outcome of it. But hey, even last night I was at the Crusaders for Peace, the Golden Image Award, and I had a little joke about it. As soon as I said yes, Daddy, the entire crowd, because I said I had a prophecy, and I had a prophecy, and I told the crowd congregation, can you say yes, Daddy? Everybody say yes, Daddy. So it has become a laughing. The church has become a laughing stock because of those false prophecies. I mean, you hear what this. I mean, I can safely say false prophecies because two of the reports we just heard. The person was this name, he said no. The person was that, he said no. The person was this name, but the person has died. And the person was, of course, you know, we can see. So, and it's not only Pastor Tue that has come on the spotlight. There are many others like Pastor Tue. Just that he was just glaring, and maybe it was just one of those that has gone viral.
Yeah, his went viral because of his broadcasts and his congregation also. And so, as you rightly said, he's not the only person. There are several others, but because just haven't been on the limelight, so people really don't know. But all in all, I listened to one of the individuals that had the views of people shouldn't be judgmental. Yeah, and I think I agree with her on that point, because I was in a gathering and this identical argument arose, and some people said that they want to see or know the law on the book, that we see the government or government officials questioning a man of God for his utterances. And you know, when these things happen, you have people from diverse views saying that some said he had no, some said the minister had no right, while others said the minister had a right because of his utterances where he allegedly swear the nation and were throwing curses on people, talking about accidents and what have you. And even in our local vernacular, where people alleged that he said he was going to throw Goa, and so that went viral. People started posting bottles of oil claiming to be that of Goa. If it's been thrown on you, it will be cured from this and that. And so I think from the call made by the minister, I think it was in the right direction because of his utterances. And so once he said that, allegedly said that, I mean, the government has a right, in my opinion, to question him. Though probably he has his own way of explaining just what he meant. So once he explains it in his way, what he meant, I mean, we're going to listen. But what you said, that calling to find out as to whether he met with the authorities at the information ministry, that is vital. I think we need to call up and find out whether that meeting was held.
Yeah, and I think you said some stuff that are very striking. Of course, you know, I mean, the fact that according to what we read, I mean, he met with the Ministry of Information family, and you know, they settled a few things, even though they were not in detail. The fact that he honored it, which is good. But like I said, you know, and everybody will agree with me. He's not the only one.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
They're giving these false prophecies and so on. You know, so I think for me, I'm not to be judgmental, but in certain cases, when you come out of the public glare, you know, then you come under public scrutiny. Because once you say something, for instance, if I say to you, that's between you and I, maybe between you and me. But if I said it in the public to you, then it becomes something public. There is no longer in the corner. I mean, you did the recording, it went viral. So I can believe or not believe. And most of the things you said, people disputed it. Right before they said, no, it didn't happen. No, you said it didn't happen. I mean, if I were him, I would have just forgotten about it. You know,
don't come up with any response.
Yeah, don't come up with any response. But
because once you do that, if even you have followers, maybe not part of your congregation, and just following you with your services and prayers, obviously some will have a fallback position.
Yeah.
Because they will be thinking just from that. And to the extent it wasn't only audio, but it was a video that went viral. And so people will have some second thoughts about that particular ministry or the individual that is running the ministry. So I agree with you that he should have remained quiet when they came up, then to come back and allegedly threaten us with Goa or.
But you know one thing also, you know, I mean, people say Liberia is a religious country. I don't believe it. I mean, I don't believe it. I serve my God, you serve your God, that's fine. Because if we are so religious, why are there so many crimes? Why are there so many heinous crimes going on or so on? And you know, some of the things that you hear or see, sometimes I see women lining up, queuing up to go to churches because they want to have husbands. They want to do come on, look, you can go to the bishop, you can even go to the Pope or the Grand Mufti, you know, to get a husband. If you're not husband material, you won't get a husband. If you don't treat men well, you won't get it. If you can't treat women well, you will not get a woman. So it's yourself. I was listening to a clip on on Facebook,
Mhm.
and this pastor was blunt. He was blunt with with people. You can do everything if you don't have that blessing from your parents.
Mhm.
Your parents, you can forget it. Nobody else. Your pastor cannot give you a blessing. Your imam cannot give you a blessing. You have to buy those things through your deeds from
From
your
your
parents.
parents,
Your
yeah.
parents have to, yeah, your parents. You can curse out your parents, beat up your parents, or say things to your parents, and you expect to go to heaven or to expect something good to come to you. I mean, yes, some people do these things and you see that they'll blossom, they go on. But when they're about to fall, they fall flat on their backs. You
And
know,
they won't even remember.
do we even remember? So I tell people, it's about you. God, open the way to make sure that you see the right thing to do. If you choose the wrong thing to do, it's on you. You can't say that God, oh yeah, God did. How did God do that? God loves all of us.
Mhm.
God will not bring out bad things to you. You saw the bad and you went there. He opened the door for you to say, I mean, sorry, I'm preaching. I'm not, I'm not, I'm not a pastor, I'm not an imam, but I mean, just common sense tells me that we all live, we see bad and good. Some people see bad, some people see good. I saw good. I'm the way I am because I saw the good. You are the way you are because you saw the good. Some people saw the bad. Like for instance, I'm in the street walking, I see these boys, Zogos and Zogis or so on, and they're looking so wretched, looking so bad and pale. And some of them feel that because of peer pressure and they feel that they look good. I'm asking them, how were you before this? Look at you, you sleeping in the street,
Mhm.
you sleeping in cardboard, and then you're stealing, and people are beating you. You risk your life.
How to take back.
How to take back. So when did you arrive? How did you arrive at this? You are looking better now. Better now. People are running away from you. Before them, anyone who saw you would shake your hands, but now people are running away from you. So it's the same thing as this. We have too many false prophets, and I tell you this: the prophets even have security bodyguards. How can prophets have bodyguards when you can predict the future? You can predict something else, so on. I mean, I can't fathom that. But I think it's the right thing to do. The ministry came out and said, "Look, have an audience with us," and they had an audience. We hope, yes, Daddy will be the right Daddy.
So, like you said, I want to go back to what you said concerning your observation about women. I think it's not only women. You have to be gender sensitive because some men do that.
No, that's why I said men.
Yeah. Okay.
I also said men.
All right.
Men, you have to
Queue
treat
up
women.
and yes, and go
yeah.
visit those pastors or men of God. It's because they are chasing signs and wonders. Because I'm an individual. What I believe in is that I don't have to go to a praying mother or the father to go explain my problems and ask them to pray.
Exactly.
For me as an individual, what I believe, I can sit in my room, pray to God honestly and earnestly, and then He'll answer my prayers. Once you are honest with what you're seeing and asking for, I mean, He will answer it. Then going to another person explaining your problems. And mind you, there are some that when you go to explain your problems, they go about telling the very congregation or people that they know within that.
Yeah.
I know about somebody, a man of God, that did that to my childhood friend.
And you still call him man of God?
Oh, he said he's man of God. Yes, I won't judge him by that. But there was something that he did this. I will say this openly on the radio, and it didn't go down well with my childhood friend. Of course, people believe that he's somebody that he sees and what have you. But the good thing about it is that he said he came from the Catholic background, and then later on God arrested him, and so he went on the other side, the Pentecostal side, and then he prophesies for people and have their eyes. But the thing is that what he did to this girl, after the girl got married, he went back in the same church and started telling his congregation that, you see, XYZ, I pray for her. All the time she was around, she never had me. I pray for her, and she got married. And somebody heard him saying that when he called the name of the person. And that's how the person went and told the lady and said, but you are the topic in the church today.
Look at that.
How can he discuss you like that? And so she didn't hesitate. She met him and told him that and said, I didn't like what you did. It didn't go down well with me. And he said, oh, it's the spirit that spoke to me to say, what I said in church. And so what do I mean is that when you go to these people and think you have a problem to be solved and thinking that they will solve your problem, I think it should be between the both of you, because this is not something that you need to do in the public. And so when that is being done, other people feel castigated. Sometimes people believe it and it go their way and it comes true. But others won't believe it because at the time they wanted it, when they went to you to offer such prayers, and so they have to turn and go elsewhere. But I think it should be some sort of a secret between the both of you, because people go to the extent to explain their personal life, their personal things. And if you claiming to be men of God, then come in the public and say God told you to say I pray for that person. For me, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because you know, I will say this. I'm a Muslim, but it happens also. There are some imams and some other Muslim prayer people. You go to them and tell them your problem, and they tell the next person, "I pray for this. I pray for." So that's why for me, I don't care whether you're Muslim, you're Christian. I mean, once you do something, I will say it, because to cover the Muslim and expose the Christian is bad. Likewise, you know, vis-a-vis. So they all do that. I have an uncle, a cousin, you know, he's Muslim, and sometimes I sit there when I'm talking with him. He's telling me, he's pointing to other people. I did this for the person. I did this for the person, and sometimes I walk away in protest. You know, I just walk away because that is their personal problem. Don't bring it to me. So it's the same as, you know, the pastor will go and say, "You see that person? I pray for them." Did the prayer that you offered? Did God say yes? Is that prayer that gave this, or you just assuming that because you prayed, or you assuming that you have that power, that when He gave you this, that means that you are the one? No, God has never taken a break before. That's why you see me. I don't go to anybody to pray for me. The only person I used to ask to pray for me was my late mother.
Okay.
She used to pray for me, and anytime she prayed for me, things used to happen to me. Anytime she used to pray happen for me. My late mother. Since she died,
mother blessings and motherly love.
That's the only person. I'm not saying I won't catch hard time or hard times. I won't fall on hard times. I've done that. I've gone it several times. But guess what? It doesn't last. Once my mother prayed for me, no, I don't care. I don't care about imam. I don't care about pastor. Nobody prays for me. Once my mother prayed for me, that's it. You know.
I think another issue concerning what we're discussing in my mind is the proliferation of churches and ministries we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, because that was one thing I wanted to talk about also.
Yeah.
And let us not limit it to churches. Let's add the mosques there too. Yeah, because I will feel guilty if I discuss
Christianity and leave Islam out.
And Islam is doing the same wrong thing. I can't talk about it. I mean, I got to talk about both sides. Like brother man said, let us also, you know. Look at Liberia. If you count the number of churches in Liberia, there are more than the hair on my head. Count the number of mosques, there are more than the hair on my head. Why are we having all of these, too many churches, too many mosques, when they could just combine or just join and get smaller one and everybody pray? But everybody wants something else. Everybody wants something else, you know. That's why I go to the mosque, pray, do the rituals, and walk away. I don't bow down to any imam. I don't bow down to any. I don't call anybody man of God. I'm a man of God too.
I like that.
I'm a man of God because I can pray to the same God,
and the same God will answer you.
The same God will answer me. I'm a man of God too.
He's slow but very, very sure
that's
in
why
all his ways.
That's why I like. That's why I love that song. Congratulations by CIC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know he's slow but sure. You know, in fact, my producer is looking for it.
Yes,
yeah,
she's looking for it.
She's looking for it. Oh yeah, that's our level of our producer. Yeah, you know what I mean. God is slow but
sure in all his ways. Very sure.
Very, very, very sure. I mean,
he never disappoints.
He never disappoints. Never ever disappoints. And, you know, and he will give you, you know, something. He won't give you something that you can bear. You know, so he's always there. So let's see. Maybe our producer has queued that up. Is it on? Okay, let's listen to it.
can't change go. Let my person know want to do it, do. Papa can't change go. They pocket rock you. Lepe when you coming true. I can see all the good God do for me, oh. Baba, your blessing to plant me and I get cut out to do. You want to go, you will away from me, oh. Never in my talent, you will hold it down. I love some people not saying, you should be really so that they're telling me, okay, you should open it up for me to ask you. She got why you turn it up, I'm so cool to do it. She quick it, I can read it on your face. We teach them to well, congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, all my kids they wanting me for. All of my Kenya get it over. They think you are too well up all up from all the popular zone. They call it to for. See the thing I get to do. They like to say when I do so. Me I got you don't ever come for me. All of them were looking down on me. Later you see the show. The umpa is never show. Let me at the day. Me at so put all about. Tell me what's up. Let them plan for your dream. Papa, I do as you say. I can see. All the good God I do for me. I bear a blessing to plant me and I get out of the door. You open door, you wait away from me. Make my enemy call and say, you want to hold it down. I let some people not say, you should be really so that nothing is telling me okay. You should open it, carry it up for me to ask. People say, you got why you turn it up, I'm not the fool from there with the 7 I carry it up. You should do it, I can't read it, see a bit. They teach them to well, congratulations.
Yeah, of course, we talked about this song,
And I saw you nodding your head.
yeah, but tears started in my eyes, because I thought about a lot of stuff that I went through, growing up and, coming from a poor family and supported by only me, supported by only my mother, because my father didn't have the hand at the time. Because my father supported me through school, and in Sierra Leone, came back, he got sick, so he didn't have the hand. My mom was supporting me. My mom was supporting my little brother, Abdullah Ketamba. We have another one, Ibrahim Ketamba. And a lot of people, she was the only one supporting us, So sometimes when I think about mother stuff, I cry, So that's why I don't like to talk much about my mother, because I have a very soft spot. I usually cry. But anyway, that's just that about the yes daddy stuff, weaving that into the God issue and coming to congratulations thing or so on. So maybe we need to switch gears a little bit, and we've gone about 27 minutes past 9 o'clock. Is 9 o'clock? Yes, 27 minutes past 9 o'clock. We got about 30 minutes to go. So let me throw something on your lap. This is in your area, the courts. I know you knew where we're going with that. The Gloria Mususka.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gloria Mususka thing. They met on Monday, the 16th. Yeah, it was the 16th. Yeah.
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday, the 16th, in the court. And I'm hearing from some of the people who has very strong cases before for those who convicted her. I'm hearing now they are softening their tones, and say because from what they're hearing, and from the argument they had, it appears that she might get an acquittal, because some of the reasons for which she was sentenced, they raised some eyebrows, throwing away DNA and say, I don't want to use the word to heck, these but he said to H with DNA, and then other circumstantial evidences were used or so on. So they are softening their positions, but then those who are on the other side say, hey, they can't speak to us because they don't want to be fined. So we say, well, you know what? No problem. We'll leave it at. But we will discuss our bid. So for the benefit of of those who are listening to us. So set the scene for us, from the genesis, what happened, and then we can just run into it quickly.
Okay. Sometime last year, the exact date was February 22.
And you remember that? She remembers that too.
Yeah, 2023, when the news broke out about a very young child by the name of Chalo Musu, who happens to be the niece to former Chief Justice Gloria Scott, was murdered in the Brewerville's home. And so when the news broke out, the police went to do their investigation around the community and what have you. And so they were being arrested, all of them that were in the house, and brought in for questioning at the police headquarters. And so based on the investigation, they were charged and subsequently sent to court. But before being sent to court to commence the case, her team of lawyers went and filed in a writ of habeas corpus, meaning you cannot keep somebody in jail beyond the statutory time. And so when they filed that before criminal court C, they argued it out, and that was granted. And later on, they moved and went back home. I remember in June last year, June 22, the Monrovia City Court, a writ came out of the court issued on Gloria and her 3 family members. They went at their home. By then, they had moved from Brewersville down to 16th Street and was brought at the court. Her lawyers argued and wanted some similarity, like maybe 13.5 that we talked about, but because of the gravity of the crime, murder, that is non-bailable there, and the Monrovia City Court, being a magisterial court, is above that court, so they could not grant anything of such, but rather to send them at South Beach, Monrovia Central Prison, and then later on at the Circuit Court. And so it was on June 22 when they took them at South Beach, and they are still there up to today's date. But then they were indicted by the government of Liberia on a probable cause, because the government said they found cause of indicting Gloria and her 3 family members for murder, and the case started, and that was a jury trial. They went through the case, and both prosecution and defense team paraded the witnesses, including the defendants themselves. But there were 4, and there are 4. But one person didn't take the witness stand, and that person was Gertrude Newton. But Gloria took the stand, Alice took the stand, and Rebecca took the stand to testify. And so when there is a jury trial, you have the jury listening to both sides, and then will come up with the decision, and it's left with the judge to either affirm or reaffirm the juror's decision. So when the case went through, there were a lot of things that happened, Hassan. I remember at a point in time, the accused, the Solicitor General at that time, it was Councillor Yanati Twan, of jury tampering. You know, when they have jury trial there, some cases the jurors remain at the Temple of Justice in the basement until the case is over.
So even if it takes for however long.
Yeah, they will be there, all depending on the case. But sometimes some cases they go home and come back. But when they are being sequestrated at the basement of the Temple of Justice, you have security with them. The only thing is that you leave from your room being escorted by security officers to the court to come and listen, and you go back. If that case is for 6, 7, 8 months, you people will be underground until the case is over.
Wow.
Yeah. So normally they don't let jurors have access to their phones, because you live in your home and you come with your belongings, almost like a new home being there. And so after everything, before your phones are being given back to you, because the possibility of communicating with other people.
You mean no contact whatsoever?
Yeah. Because,
for
example,
you miss out on all
but
calls.
But take for example, if you have a high profile case like the one we have concerning Gloria Scott and others, you don't have to be passing around using phones. It's possible that you could communicate either with the prosecution or either with the defense team or some other person you want to give information to, which of course is not acceptable. And so at the jury quarters, the Solicitor General went to visit evening hours, which of course the security had to ask him what was his problem, and he said he came to see his men that were on the ground rather. And so defense took serious exception to that, and they brought it to the court attention, and there was a hearing in that. Tuan was fined in that, and they took him off the case.
Oh,
Yeah, they took him off. So the case went on, and the jury found them guilty, unanimous guilty. So when they found them guilty, normally when you are being found guilty, there's this probation service communications is being written to that office to go and ascertain about your behavior in the community before they sentence you. And so that was done. When they came back with the report, the judge reaffirmed the jury's decision about them being found guilty, and Judge Roosevelt Willis sentenced them to life. So, for life. And so her team took an exception to the ruling and announced an appeal to the Supreme Court, which was last December. The Supreme Court opened twice a year for the March and October term. And so people were waiting eagerly for the assignment so that case can be heard, especially the appeal and the argument. So when one is being sentenced or being found guilty and an appeal is being taken, automatically whatever decision is on the hold until the court can decide, the higher court can decide. So they pleaded for an assignment, and the case was assigned for Tuesday, the 16th. And we went to listen. When the case started, defense were giving the stand to put forth what they went for before the court. But Hassan, remember, the Supreme Court don't go about looking for cases. Documents from the lower courts, emanating from the lower courts, is what they go through and then have both sides argue and then come up with a ruling. Yeah. So former Associate Justice Kambina Jane was part of Gloria's legal team.
okay.
Former Associate Justice Philip Banks was also there.
Wow.
Former Chief Justice Francis Johnson Morris, they all form part of the team.
Wow.
And what I noticed, I asked some lawyers that they, even though she had a very huge team, but I was told that because of seniority, and so the older ones had to take up. So Kambina Jale kicked the ball rolling by presenting a brief, and it was 100 counts. 100 counts. And so out of that, he struck only 5 points. And one of the things he raised was that prosecution could not convince them at the lower court to have the clients to say they committed the crime of murder. According to Kambina, his team, they felt that prosecution, they didn't say anything at the lower court. And so they came to the Supreme Court so that the court could interpret that decision of the clients being found guilty of murder. Uh-huh. And one of the issues he raised was the issue of this DNA, the autopsy that were conducted by Benedict Cooley, that the government brought, and then Gloria brought her pathologist Okoye from the States. And so there was this diagram that was displayed in court. The diagram was displayed from the girl's body and what have you. But interestingly, Okoye said when he did the nails, he discovered male chromosomes within Charlo's nails. Yeah. And then when defense raised the issue, Dr. Cooley said, because I followed the case from the beginning to the end, he said, though he noticed that, but it was minor. And so defense took advantage of what he said, and they raised it up at the Supreme Court. And can you imagine, questions kept coming from all the associate justices and the Chief Justice on that. And so prosecution came to defend. Councillor Bobby Livingstone led the team, and he insisted it was based on circumstantial evidence that it went through. In fact, he said there were 4 in the house. There were no intrusion. There were no intruder, according to prosecution, that went in the house. So the 4 that were in the house, they were responsible for the death. 5 persons were in the house. 1 person got murder. And so the 4 should be held responsible for that. At a point in time, I remember Justice Wolokoli asked about a particular knife they alleged that was used. She asked whether there were so many knives used, whether this person had another knife and just stabbing, because they claimed that she was stabbed 9 times. So,
Wow.
yeah, Justice Wolokoli wanted to know as to whether this knife was passed to another person and another person took it and was stabbing back and forth. And so the argument went back and forth. And the county attorney, normally when you open the argument, another person will close the argument, and the county attorney close the argument, and they all proffer the case. And so for that, ruling was reserved after the justices listened to arguments for both sides. And we hope to hear from the Supreme Court as to whether they will reaffirm the lower court's decision or it will be overturned. So there are 2 things involved. And so we await to hear the opinion emanating from the court, because once an opinion is being brought down from the court, automatically it becomes a law. So tomorrow we'll read about that case.
In past cases,
people will make reference to that. So we will wait for the Supreme Court to come out with a ruling. We cannot preempt and we cannot speak for the court for now. So we'll wait.
So there are certain words that people like myself don't know. When you say reserved ruling, what does that mean?
Reserved ruling is that when the argument is being done, they will not come up with the ruling of being guilty or not guilty. It has to be reserved. And they got to go there and look into it before coming back.
Oh, so that means that they won't say anything for now.
For now, they won't say anything.
But they'll go in and look into the merits.
Go in and look into the merits, have their opinions rating,
before
discuss it, then come up with a ruling. Normally, there's something like a vote amongst the justices, and the Chief Justice is the one that breaks the tie. So there were 4, and maybe if you have 2 for and 2 against, it's the Chief Justice that breaks the tie, either for or against. And so once the tie is being broken, the higher number that reveals the decision there. So we wait to see what's going to happen. Because after the argument that day, we are always around the court, and there were a lot of people. Some were arguing. Some you could see from the faces, the physical appearance, that they weren't happy about the argument, and you could see some on the other side. I mean, I saw a lot of them rejoicing and dancing, and they couldn't say anything to anybody. And so,
now, which side you saw dancing? Because there are 2 sides.
I saw a lot of women.
Okay.
Saw them with a lot of lapa suits, and from the vernacular they spoke, it was a Grebo dialect, because I understand I'm from there. And so they were all in the compound, and people stood and kept staring at them.
Were they dancing because they were impressed with the presentation by Gure Mususka's defense team?
I think so, because we were standing by I think 3 other gentlemen, and one of them just stood, I remember, with tears rolling down his eyes, and then he saw another woman among the group that was dancing and hugged her for a while, and then later on they stood. But then when you see these things happening at the court, especially in cases, sometimes people are very careful with the utterances, because you don't know who is who or who's listening.
Yeah.
And so it's only the actions we watch, and then later on we're gonna wait and see what will happen.
Fabian, I know you have a plate full. I think it's even overflowing, but maybe you need to. We need to book an airtime here for you, or maybe handle on the law, if I may say it that way. Give it a title of a law program. Even if it's 30 minutes to explain some of these things, get some people. You don't need an hour for callers to call here, but maybe just 30 minutes. Maybe after here we could go downstairs and look for a time, a period or so to see what's going on. And in fact, we're also trying to get in touch with the away from this program, something we're trying to get in touch with a police spokesperson about, the police cars that are in the streets. I understand there are police cars in the streets. We're trying to talk to a police spokesperson to tell us, why the cars are in the streets, and let's find out what was going on. Maybe Independence Day celebration, or maybe just brandishing, or just showing off the vehicles or so. But that's another thing again. But in all, we need to have that show. Maybe someone will call it Law and Order or Handle on the Law or something.
The slot is there.
Yeah,
We discussed that last Friday, and we can go about.
Yeah, we can go about it, because I think you are best suited to handle such a program. I mean, you have a wealth of knowledge of more than a decade covering the courts, that temple of justice. And sometimes I have so many friends who are lawyers, but I don't know why when I go to the temple of justice, I mean, I can be so frisky, but I'm in my shells, because man, somebody could just grab and say, "Hey, grab this guy." And the thing about the lawyers, I hope they're not going to hold me in contempt. You can even be friends with a guy, and the guy will look you in the eye and say, "Hey, sheriff," and call the sheriff on you. Hold on, but man, you must say a classmate, man. What are you doing? You must say a classmate. I mean, but I love the legal profession. I mean, no friskiness, nothing, no fufafu. My late uncle Mohammed Jalba would say, no fufafu, no way. I mean, that's strictly. I mean, homeschooling way back in the day, because if someone older than you one day, he's older than you. I mean, you call it counselor. And another thing again, when you call somebody who's an attorney, you call the counselor, they are quick to correct you.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's not because they haven't reached that title to be called a counselor. They aren't training once you've been admitted after you graduate from the law school and being admitted to your bar, which is your county of origin. And then you can start practicing. And when you practice for 5 years, then you apply for the counselor at law, which of course you have to do a rating test, oral and rating test. And so when you come out with that, pass in that, and then the Supreme Court clears you, you are ready to be counselor at law to practice before the Supreme Court. Because the attorneys' limitations, they will go to the Supreme Court. They won't go before them because they are not counselors, and so they will sit like you and I to listen. So you see the difference?
So these guys go to the courts. I mean, when you call somebody, I remember about 3 or 4 times. I have some friends, and I say, "Hey, counselor." I mean, even before I could say law, counselor.
No.
The guy said, "No, I'm attorney." I'm wondering, hold on, nobody's listening to us, just you and me. Why did they rush to correct you right away? I mean, is this something that I don't know? I don't even know what kind of question to ask, because these guys. But and I would really hope that one day our journalism profession will gravitate to that level.
But we have a lot of journalists now that are lawyers.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah, no. I mean, what I'm talking about, our profession, just our profession. Well, I'm just hoping that one day our profession will get to the stage where you will see somebody, you won't call him a legend, or you won't call him veteran. You won't call him. Look, okay, people call me veteran journalist. I take it because the kind of people I'm standing with. But I can't be among the likes of Kwame Clement, Oliver Shannon, Martin Brown, David Brown, and you call me veteran. No, I don't take it. If you call me veteran, how do you call them?
How you call them?
Who you call them? Yeah, I mean, so when I'm in my lay corner, I know I'm higher than the rest.
You accept that.
I accept that. But when I'm among Kwame Clement, Aaron Colley, and the rest of the guys, or so, even though Aaron Colley and I read news on Haywood, the fact that he came out first because he was in high school, 12th grade graduate, and did that, he's still my senior. So I would say yes, he's a veteran. I'm not a veteran when I'm amongst them. But you find out, you call anybody veteran journalist. The person has been practicing 2 or 3 years, they are now veteran journalists, and I don't know how that happened. So if other professions like the law, if we can emulate them, I think that'll be a good thing.
I think so too.
Yeah, that'll be because the law and order.
There's law and order. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, any respect.
The respect. Yeah. There's law and order.
Law and order, respect.
Your honor.
Your honor. Your honor. I mean, you bow to your honor.
The judge is passing. You stand and give them way.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I don't like bowing to people. I don't like that. But hey. Yeah, I don't like the
bow your head.
Yeah, I don't bow to anybody. I don't like the bow to them. But it is, it's a profession, noble profession. But I love it, and even but you know what? And lawyers, some of them are very nice, but some of them are very. I don't want to use the word before. I don't want to. The word starts with R and ends with an E. Now in between that, yeah, I mean, the word starts with an R.
I know.
And ends with an E. But in between there, I can't put two before somebody hold me in contempt. Yeah. Anyway, we are here on the Super Morning Show, and Fabian and I are having a nice time here. So let's give you an interlude of some music again. I think my producer loves this. Congratulations. So we'll still play the congratulations again. I think she loves dancing to it.
The papa said no one to do it, do. They pocket roach you. They pocket roach when you coming true. Y'all can see. All the good God do for me, oh. I pay your blessing to plant me and I get cut out to oh. You open door, you made a way. Make my enemy call and fail. They wanna wallow down me. They listen people next say, you should be only so that you have been only telling me, okay, they open the corridor for me to pass. See how you turn it around for good from the way to carry. The great I carried and on your bed, you teach it and do well. Congratulations. Let all my kids they wanting me for. All of my Kenya give it to God. They think you love to yell for la mama. Les papes la zoba. Les poils à ton coutou. Si les tina do. J'ai l'air to say when I do so. Me I got baby. You turn me around for me. When all of them were looking down on me. Les pas you see les show. Your home pas you slow but show. Me I do this. Tell me tell me what's that. Live better than plan for your dreams. I better do as you say. Y'all can see all the good do for me. All the good God do for me. I better blessing to plant me and I got to do it. You open door, you made a way. Make my own talent. They wanna hold you down. I let them people next to you me only. Now they're telling me okay. They open the corridor for me to pass. See how you turn me around. Good from the way they create, I carried, and on your face, I generate, and on your face, they teach it and do well. Congratulations. Holler.
Keeping it grown and sexy for the ladies. It's that real sound being thrown down. Haters, step back. Killing Lone Star. It's DJ Lone Star. In this corner.
We are here. I mean, I join ourselves with the producer with this music, and we have Damawa Fana on the online side. She's making sure that we are online and doing all of these music for us and having a discussion. So we've been trying to get in touch with our correspondents also because I think Fabian said there were some interesting stories coming from River G and Nimba County, especially we need to discuss that, but we haven't found anyone yet to talk to. Also, I think we'll probably just leave it, or yeah, we shouldn't preempt that also. But there's I think one concern killing or attempted killing. Yeah.
Another man accused of being in an affair with his wife.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but in fact, I mean, yeah, we let's leave it. But the fact that somebody having an affair with your wife, is that cause to attempt to kill them? I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah, the issue of killing.
Yeah, killing is like saying if I can't have her, nobody else should.
Yeah.
Or or because she cheated on you, so you should kill her. No.
Try to take away somebody's life because, and when these things happen, in the end, they come back and say it's the devil. Life has been lost. You cannot replace that.
Exactly, because it's the devil. Now the devil has gone, so and the life has gone also.
Try to take away somebody's life, cause I don't know.
And I always tell people, don't even beat on your girlfriend or your wife, because they're not your daughter to beat on them. If you can make it, just move on. Anything, just move on. I mean, but to beat on even a woman, I think that's bad. Doing that. But also understand, also men, women also beat on their women. and I heard at the gender ministry, men have complained that women beat them up.
Yeah, they experience violence too. It's not only the women, but most men are being silent about that. Yeah, domestic violence.
Yeah, but why don't they report them? I think why I think what we need to do on the show also, let's look for certain topics such as those, and people who have been abused by their wives or those rare cases. Let's see if we can record it. Maybe we don't need their names. Please. Have you been?
Because not only the women have suffered domestic violence, men. Yeah, men do. Men do. They go through that.
Yeah, but we want to play macho. We don't want to be identified. The women can easily come up and say, "Hey, my husband, my boyfriend beat me up."
Maybe I think they will be shy in a way. It will be like a shame.
Because our society
shameful, because of our society. He's sitting down, he look at his woman, beating him.
Be fissy man.
And they got some real strong women. Women.
That's why I've never dated anybody who's stronger than me or as strong as me. Because you see, I'm a laid back kind of guy, lazy kind of guy. Even though I did karate when I was in high school. I don't like.
And so you don't have the skills still?
No, I had a little bit of skills.
Black belt?
No, I went as far as a red belt. I think red is the next to the black one.
Okay. Well, you're almost there.
Yeah, I did Shotokan, the Japanese one. I did a little bit of Taekwondo, but not much. But Shotokan, I did the Japanese one. But I didn't go that far, way far to get a black belt. I would have loved to have all the black belts that Brani Samuka has. Brani Samuka has about 4 or 5 black belts, and then the Master Pew Russian.
I know about a female judge who's a black belt holder also.
That's great.
Judge Eva Mappy Morgan.
You're kidding me?
Yeah.
So
she always practice at SKD. Yeah.
So she can whistle pull at us.
There was something yesterday that was trending on Facebook. Probably you came across it, and I just want to share it. A guy allegedly found another man in a relationship with his 6-month baby ma. 6-month-old baby ma. And from the video, he looks like a police officer from the video. And I think the person he accused looks like a journalist from one of the stations and managers, because from the post, it's not only about the video, but the comments.
Yeah.
And so people kept blaming the baby man and said the man was wrong. He should have attacked his baby man who has a child for him, 6 months old, and now the
Lord.
fellow. And so from the video, you could see he tore the guy's shirt, and he was trying to shy away from the camera, hiding his face.
So it's the police officer who tore the journalist's shirt.
I don't know whether he's really a police officer, but from the comments, but he's a gentleman in Margibi there. So that video went viral yesterday, and you could see the guy on the phone holding the guy's shirt with his phone, his green t-shirt, trying to call while he was shielding his face. And so people went discussing in the comments, and a lot of journalists were involved in saying that it went offhand, and I think people needed to respond in Margibi yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. So if even he had a problem with his wife, other people saying he was wrong to attack his friend, and blah blah. Other people are saying he should go and do a DNA test as to whether that child is his child, because she will not be having a 6-month-old baby and try getting into another relationship. But all in all, what you said concerning domestic violence, I think we need to find people that are going through, because it's not only the men. I keep on saying it's not only the women. I keep on seeing that men do suffer domestic violence home.
Yeah,
but they just decide to keep. Some of them decide to keep quiet and be mute on the issue.
Maybe that's something that our producer can follow up. Go to the gender ministry.
Yes, she covers the gender ministry.
Gender ministry, and find out whether men have reported domestic violence against them. What's the ratio? Of course, the women will be more. But but the how many men have done that, and whether they are willing to speak to us, then we can feature them.
Yeah, based on anonymity.
Yeah, exactly. We could do that. We'll do that. Anyway, our time is up. It's 10 o'clock, and we have to go. Fabien, it's been a nice time here. Oh no.